Hey y'all, I'm off today, and this might be a new location where I do videos. It's basically my very small man cave. That's my fault. I made it that way. Might show some more of what I got in here as time goes on. Maybe. People today, that's what this video is about. People today they don't listen to other people's and they don't care about people's backgrounds or anything like that. That's for another thing. The part of this video is, I guess it's a rant. And it deals with that. The Second Amendment. Rights. The First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, etc., etc. The rights that are enshrined, burned into, supposedly, the minds and the hearts of the American people. The fact of it is it's not. But that's also could be for discussion for another video. So Joe Biden looks like he's going to be like he's the president. Well, we lived through Obama for 8 years. We'll see how this works out. A lot of people are worried about Joe, and they're worried about his administration because he's got some people that are politically definitely antithesis to me and other Americans. He's got some very, or maybe his people's got some very hard issues that they want to press on the American people. They want to basically tax me more so somebody gets their college tuition paid off. They want to tax me more for contraceptives. They want to tax me more for abortion. They want to tax me more for rent and all types of things. I don't agree with that. Higher learning is not higher learning is a pursuit of higher learning. It's not, well, I'm out of high school, I'm going to go to college. And that's what we've turned it into. It's just a progression, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be, if you want it, go pursue it. A lot of folks I know, their kids are in college, and they, I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's like, well, it's expensive. Okay, yeah, it's expensive. Next. You know what I'm saying? Well, I sent my child to college. Well, one, you screwed up. You sent your child to college. Your child didn't send himself to college. See, I got a son who's 19. And I have to say, give him props to him. He's about as smart as you can come across. He really is. I ain't paying his way in college. I ain't gonna help him one bit. Now, some folks will say, well, you're being mean. No, I'm not. It's his life, his course to follow, his pursuit. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So this is what I'm getting back to, that. So, we have enshrined, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Third, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth. And it goes right back to this. So Joe Biden says he wants to have every semi-automatic, I'm hearing every semi-automatic weapon registered under the ATF. So he wants to create a national registry, which is already being upheld in the Supreme Court as it's unconstitutional. Keep that in mind. Secondly, he is saying that every American gun owner will pay $200 per gun and $200 per magazine, and you have to get fingerprinted and carded and all this stuff. Once again, it's being upheld in the Supreme Court. That's unconstitutional. Strike 2. Strike 3. The NFA, the National Firearms Act, deals with weapons that are not of common use. And they have different classifications of this. Now, I don't agree with the ATF. I'm not into that. I think it should be abolished. But whatever. That's not, once again, I ain't got a dog in that fight. Joe is going to talk a lot of talk, and his people are going to talk a lot of smack because they need their base hot. Here's why. In 2 more years, there's going to be another national vote. It's going to be for the House. Then it's going to be for the Senate. So, if it turns out that the Senate is held by the Republicans for these 2 years, Joe Biden and his people, it's going to be a great time for them, because all he's going to do is take pen and paper, do the Obama thing, sign an executive order, and backdoor as much as he can. Backdoor and law ain't the same. He's got to have Congress, and he's got to have Senate, and he's got to have his signature on a bill that's been made into law. And it still has to be constitutional. If the Senate is a 50-50 split, Kamala Harris gets to make up the final vote. Well, we all know how that's going to swing. But 50-50 also means 50% committee, 50% committee. So where do you think these bills are going to go? They're crazy ass socialist communist bills. They're going to stack them up. It's going to go into committees. They're going to die on the floor. They're going to get stacked back under. They're going to go into committee. They're going to die on the floor and get stacked back under. They're going to try to appease their base. I mean, it's the politics. I'll be 50 years old next year. And I've been a voting man since I was 18. And when I first voted, I was a hard, old school Southern Democrat. That's what I was. The old school Democrat. When Bill Clinton got in, I became Republican. One political party with a D, the other political party with an R, they're just as corrupt. They're just as dirty. And I don't trust them about as far as I could throw a horse. Donald Trump is not the savior of the damn United States of America. You know, I hate to cuss, but, you know, I get kind of ticked off when I hear my side talk about Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that. Donald Trump has signed more anti-gun regulations than Obama ever did. And Obama was the best gun salesman in the entire history of the United States on a political level. Okay? The problem is this. The problem is we, the people of the United States, don't have a backbone anymore. That's pretty much it. Now, I'm going down the rabbit hole, and I'm not keeping in track because I'm getting pissed off of this. We have to start standing up and saying no. And we have to get rid of them knuckleheads up there, and not only just on the federal level, because we spend too much time with our eyes on the feds. We need to actually spend more time on the counties that we live in and bump it to the states, because where the state goes, the federals follow. A good case in point, marijuana laws. We're close to like half the United States being recreational marijuana. If we get to 25 states, they'll abolish the marijuana laws. And then they will make it to where, there's recreational marijuana. Now if you ask me, think that's about as bright as you sticking your finger in a light socket. Marijuana kills people. Marijuana is a dangerous drug. Marijuana kills American soldiers overseas. The drug trafficking trade keeps that in the hands of people who kill our sons and our daughters. So no, I'm not for it. But now, here's the other thing about it. This is where I stand on things about what I think. What I think is for me, not for you. And that is where we are having the problem. I think that I should own a firearm, period. I think I should be able to go to a gun shop and buy any suppressor, silencer, can, muffler, whatever you want to call it, right off the shelf, pay for the price and not worry about the ATF. I think if you want to buy a fully automatic belt-fed M60, you should be able to go in there and buy a fully automatic belt M60. It's not my business. It is a thing. If you're a homosexual, be a homosexual. It's not my thing. My soul is my soul. My life is my life. If you want to abort your child, go do it. Just leave my money alone. Keep me and my money out of it. And that's why we have the debate over the abortion issue. It's not so much a morality factor. Morality is a personal thing. It's a financial factor. If you say on the abortion side, well, you don't pay nothing into a PS9 attack guy, I'm going to say, yo, really? So how is it that they get millions of dollars on these abortion clinics, all these lobby groups that they've got, they get millions of dollars off of that. So yeah, you get my tax money. And that's what it boils down to. I live my life, you live your life, and we are peaceful and harmonious with each other. What a crazy concept, but that's what the Constitution is. But we don't do that no more. Joe Biden and his people, Joe Biden and his kind, they want our guns because it's control. Common sense. Well, hell, common sense says that people that drive cars kill everybody. More people are killed on the roads than they are killed by a handgun or a rifle or a shotgun. Common sense says that we should outlaw narcotics because it kills more people than handguns, rifles, and shotguns. Oh my. But yet, we still go to the house and there's still somebody there that's overdosed. There's still somebody's family that has lost somebody. And all the government does is give them thoughts and prayers. You got poor people being killed right now in Chicago in the streets, slain out. They are affected. But the other side says, we are tired of your thoughts and prayers. Get it? 70+ million Americans voted for Trump, and I am one of them. He was never my first, second, or third. My first, second, or third choice. But the reason why Americans voted for Trump is because he wasn't a politician. And he ticked people off. People that we've had to deal with my whole life. I give an example. Like I said, I'll be 50 years old next year. Joe Biden has been in office longer than I've been alive. And he's not the only one. You can pick Republicans that are the same way. So how is it that these people, they've never built nothing in their life, they've never run a business, they've never contributed anything other than the service as an elected representative, which is not dishonorable, but yet they've made millions and millions of dollars running for office. All they've done is, I'm running for office. And that goes back to like a few days ago, I sat there and I thought about this. Since I've been 18 years old and I have voted for U.S. House, U.S. Senate, and the presidency, the legislature of my state, and the county, I have voted for one thing and one thing only: to have my civil liberties not violated by my own government. Now, how damn sorry is that for an American to come to the realization that his own government is his worst enemy in the preservation of his life, his liberty, and the pursuit of his happiness? So Joe Biden and his people, they want $200 per magazine, all the guns registered and all this stuff. Good luck. It won't happen. My gut tells me really strongly it won't happen. And I will tell you this too. If we, the American people, do what they say, then we don't deserve the rights we got in the first place. Because the rights we have are not from the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. They're from the natural order or the higher power, if you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, it's from the natural order. But it's the same thing. It's the same of the humanist ideology. If we give up our rights, we never deserved them in the first place. That's it. And we're continuing making enemies out of each other. I know I'm going on a long one because this is about 17 minutes long, and I don't like to do long ones. But here's a good analogy to it. People that are Second Amendment people, exercise their Second Amendment. Sometimes people with the Second Amendment infuriate the ever-loving hell out of me. Period. I think they're just as bad as an anti-gun person. So, some of these guys that I bumped into, I'm not going to name names and all that. I don't hunt anymore. If I did, I'd take my AR-15. A lot of the older hunters that I know blame me because I own AR-15 for their problems with trying to go hunt. And I quote, those things ought to be not allowed in the hands of the American citizenry. And I quote, that was direct, they should not be allowed in our hands. That ain't got nothing to do with the Second Amendment. That's from a gun owner who's owned guns all his life, who's been hunting all his life, and that's all he cares about. Because that's what to him the Second Amendment is. That's only he perceives it to be. And he voted for Joe Biden. And he's a Democrat. So you got Democrats that are gun owners, they just see it differently than we do. And there's your problem. That's it. This group of gun owners, they don't see the need in it. So since they don't see the need in it, you shouldn't have it. But it goes right back to what I'm saying. If you want to own a tank, go buy the darn thing. I could care less. That's what we Americans are supposed to be. I do you. I do me, you do you. I live my life, you live your life. Peace, harmony. That's it. Once you cross the line and violate my right, therefore we are in what is known as the court of law. That's how simple it is. We're losing that. I don't believe in abortion, but I'm not going to impose my will upon you. Joe Biden and his people don't believe that I should have the guns that I have. But they are going to impose their will upon me and criminalize me as an American citizen who's a tax-paying, law-abiding American citizen. Believe in mom, God, and apple pie. That's your difference. They want to take because you shouldn't have, because they think it should be that way. We're losing all that. We're losing the mechanism by which this republic was founded. We're not a democracy. We're becoming a socialist democracy, absolutely. But we are not, under the Constitution, a democracy. We are a free republic. We have allowed our freedoms to be eroded to control by government entities. Carrying a weapon. That's ingrained in the Constitution. You should be allowed to carry a weapon. Now, if the store says, I don't want you carrying a weapon in here, you can't carry a weapon. Why? Because he owns the store. Now, I have a problem with a chain of stores, like a big conglomerate, saying you can't do that. Because that's a business as a business. That's not an individual. Banks. Banks say you can't carry a gun in here. Okay. You get what I'm saying? I think like if we truly are to be free people, you have to suck it up, buttercup, and understand that freedom isn't free. And it has to be always primary in your life. To be a free man, it requires you to earn it every day. Every day you must walk this land as a free man, or be subservient. You know, I don't agree with having to pay income tax, state or federal. I think that's a violation of the Constitution. I think if you're a convicted felon and you go to prison and you get out, you should have all your rights restored, including the Second Amendment. And I find it very interesting that the political side of the fence with the Democrat Party affiliation says that these people have done their time and they should have the right to vote. Absolutely. Roger that. Now let's give them their guns. Watch them go, well, now, wait a minute. We shouldn't do that. You get it? All they give a damn about is that vote because they want power. That's it. So, you know, black, white, yellow, red, Star Wars, green, I could care less. Only thing I care about is what's on your patch. Is it American? I'm not hyphenated anything. I am an American. When you start hyphenating who you are, then you put yourself in a class that is not American. And we're falling into that really bad. We got a lot, you know, Biden and his administration does not scare me. What scares me is the American people's just zombie-like ways of constantly doing the same regurgitating bullshit that I've seen for so long. You know, I've heard many people say, we need term limits. You know why we can't get term limits? Because we're like the Congress and the Senate. We can't get a damn thing done. And they love it. Because we can't get a damn thing done. And they make it that way. I love it when the Congress and Senate are not the same and all they do is argue, bitch, and moan and gripe and they never get one bill through. Because that's when I know today I still have my freedom. And that goes right back to how sad is it that an American is more worried about his government stripping me of my right than an external source doing that. You know, I mean, like, you know, Joe Biden is saying that we have to turn in our guns or pay high amounts of money. One, I ain't doing either. Will not comply. I'm not doing it. It's just very sad that you know, our politics has eroded into revenge. I see that. Has eroded into more of our civil liberties stricken from us. And the answer to all of that is the American people are going to have to understand that freedom is a responsibility, and if you don't care for it, you'll lose it. You know, Americans see more and more every day that they want the cake and eat it too. They want, well, I want this, but I don't want to be responsible for the outcome that it requires me to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a house payment. You got some of them senators saying, well, maybe the United States government needs to pay my house. Now, I know some Americans will be like, hell yeah, pay mine off. No, I don't want your money. I don't want you. I want you to leave me alone and allow me my life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the course that I set, the road that I go down, not the road that you're trying to create for every American to follow like lemmings off a cliff. You know, that to me is the chasm. That's the divide with the American people. Sorry for the long one. Just 27 minutes in. I don't like to do them things like that. But it was a little rant. Yeah, I could do a lot more. But it gets murky and all that mess. So, I hope everyone has a good day today. Holidays coming up. Hope y'all have a good Thanksgiving. I might do a couple more videos if I get a chance. If y'all like the spot, if the lighting looks good, if y'all would let me know. Like I said, this is a new spot. I've been working on this. It's a man cave of mine. Thinking about, got a table right here, so I'm thinking about setting up this table to where I can show you a couple of things that I'm working on. Be back directly.